What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now, get this, we are now 236 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell, but as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store, so be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, the possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because now less than 70% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is basically this week's episode. But the question of the day is this: what are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown potentially going to 3 hours next year? Let me know down in the comments below. And that is exactly what we are going to be talking about for this week, is the fact that it's been rumored over the last couple of weeks now that SmackDown will be moving to 3 hours next year when Raw moves to Netflix. Now, I will say the idea sounds, it sounds good on paper. On paper, it seems like a good idea. But one of the biggest, I think there are so many there are so many upsides to the idea of SmackDown going to 3 hours, but there's also quite a few downsides to that idea as well. So there's been a lot of chatter going around that supposedly WWE is going to be doing another draft when Raw moves to Netflix at the beginning of next year. So I believe it's the very first Monday of the new year, which I believe yeah. So the first Monday of the new year will be January 6th. The last Monday of the new year will be December 30th. So that right there is pretty crazy. So the idea, again, it sounds good on paper, but it I guess in a way it just depends, because with this so-called upcoming new draft, there's been a lot of rumors that with Raw moving to Netflix next year, and with NXT moving over to the CW next week, there's been a lot of chatter that we are going to be getting a brand new draft, and supposedly the champions will remain in the brands that they're at now, but there's been a lot of rumors that this draft, that with this upcoming draft, we could end up seeing the bloodline over on Raw, as will we see potentially Roman Reigns moving back over to Raw for the first time in over 5 years. In well over 5 years. So it's weird. It's weird, but it kind of makes sense that they would move the bloodline over to Raw, because the bloodline story, which dates all the way back to when Roman became champion, has been nothing but just incredible. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are saying, who will probably comment and say, oh, the bloodline story's gone too long. This needs to end. When are they ending it? Trust me, I get it. I get the frustration, but with Solo as the quote-unquote new tribal chief, it's getting even more and more interesting. But I think when you really look at it, one of the biggest upsides to the idea of SmackDown going to 3 hours is obviously is obviously making sure that the main event gets a little more screen time, as they did with Raw. With Raw, when they moved to 3 hours from the 1000th episode of Raw, up until just recently, and it's crazy because with Raw now moving back to 2 hours until through the end of the year, there's been a lot of chatter that Raw could also be moving back, could remain 2 hours when it moves over to Netflix, which I have no idea how that's gonna work. The idea of watching Raw on Netflix, I have no idea. So it's gonna take a lot again. It's gonna take a lot of getting used to. But I will say, I will say, it's interesting, but that's one of the biggest upsides is SmackDown giving the main event a little more screen time, and ensuring that the main event is as good as it's supposed to be. That right there, I feel like is one of the biggest upsides. But also too, another major upside is that we could also be seeing superstars from Raw competing over on SmackDown full time. We could see factions like Judgment Day. We could see the Judgment Day over on SmackDown, which honestly, it sounds like a good idea, but I don't think that's gonna happen, because even if SmackDown did acquire the Judgment Day, odds are they might also want to acquire the Terror Twins as well. So it will be very interesting, to say the very least. So again, obviously SmackDown has officially moved over to the USA Network. This week, tomorrow night, will be the last episode of NXT on the USA Network, and obviously I showed you guys the CW app in yesterday's video. I don't know if you can watch it live on the CW app, but but only one way to find out, and that's to figure it out next week. But I think the biggest downside of SmackDown moving to 3 hours is, as of right now, I think it's just the lack of talent that we have right now on SmackDown. Because if you look at what's current right now, the SmackDown roster is as follows: AJ Styles, Andrade, Angel, Angelo Dawkins, Apollo Crews, Ashante Villadanis, Austin Theory, B-Fab, Baron Corbin, Bayley, Berto, Bianca Belair, Blair Davenport, Candice LeRae, Carmelo Hayes, Cedric Alexander, Chelsea Green, Cody Rhodes, Corey Graves, obviously part of the SmackDown commentary team, Kathy Kelly, obviously showing up to SmackDown every once in a while. Let's see here. Electra Lopez, Elton Prince, Giovanni Vinci, Grayson Waller, Indy Hartwell, Jacob Fatu, Jay Cargill, Johnny Gargano, Carl Anderson, Kevin Owens, Kit Wilson, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Luke Gallows, Michael Cole, obviously part of the commentary team, Michin, Montez Ford, Mike Rome, obviously, was the ring announcer for SmackDown, now is the ring announcer for NXT, but apparently, based on his social media, he has a kid, so congrats to Mike Rome on the newborn. Montez Ford, Naomi, Nia Jax, Nick Aldis, Paul Heyman, Piper Niven, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Santos Escobar, Shinsuke Nakamura, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tegan Nox, Tiffany Stratton, Tommaso Ciampa, Tonga Loa, and of course Wade Barrett, obviously doing the special SmackDown episodes, if you will. So again, it's the lack of talent right now, because if you look at the list of the current superstars that we have now, just across all three brands, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, it's absolutely incredible. It is absolutely incredible. But right now, I feel like if SmackDown did go to 3 hours and Raw went back, had moved to 2 hours, they would legit have to take at least 10% of the Raw roster, and at least maybe like 2 or 3% of the roster from NXT, and move them over to SmackDown. But even by then, theoretically speaking, it sounds good on paper, but realistically, it would mean that they would have to give more screen time to the talent who are just sitting and catering, doing nothing, just waiting for their opportunity, instead of seeing them take their seize their opportunities, such as Tegan Nox, such as Candice LeRae, and of course Indy Hartwell. All these guys and girls that sit in catering, just pondering, waiting. They're not taking their opportunities. They're not taking the opportunities for themselves. And I feel like, and I feel like if SmackDown did go to 3 hours, it would just be a big mistake, because it would mean that there would have to be more. I wouldn't say budget cuts, but I think more releases, if you will, because as of right now, obviously you guys know, what was it, about a month ago, I want to say, I talked about how Odyssey Jones got fired recently, and also the potentiality of Omos getting released as well. There have been a lot of rumors that that Omos had been released from his contract with WWE, but if you look at WWE's alumni superstar section, the stars that got released from the modern era, like from today's WWE, it's absolutely horrendous. I mean, think about this. There's Aaliyah. There's Amari Miller, Amir Jordan. Let's see, just going down the line. Let's see here. Aaliyah James, Alexander Wolf. Let's see here. Ari Sterling. Let's see here. Arya Davari, Asher Hale, Ashton Smith. Beth Phoenix. The Hall of Famer. Just to name a few, going down the line, Bobby Lashley got released from his contract, which is upsetting, which is pretty upsetting. Bobby Fish got released as well. Cameron Grimes, going down the line. Who else is here? Damon Kemp. We saw him get released as well, not too long ago. Dijak is definitely one. Dolph Ziggler is definitely another one. Drew Gulak. Who else? Going down the line. Who else got released this year? Guru Raj also got his release earlier this year, and he was part of that WWE Network special Superstar Spectacle, which was a PLE dedicated to showcasing the talents of those who were born and raised in India, and those who are actually Indian descent as well, which was really cool. Who else? Going down the line is just absolutely crazy. The Grizzled Young Veterans. Jinder Mahal, we saw him get released, I want to say about a month after WrestleMania, funny enough, which is crazy. Just keeping on going down the line. Kevin Patrick, also, he was once a commentator for Raw, and then of course SmackDown and whatnot. Lacey Evans, she got her release the last couple of years or so. Going down the line, Marseille and Mansoir, obviously Maximum Male Models. Mandy Rose got fired because of some bullshit that she was doing. Matt Riddle as well. Mackenzie Mitchell, part of the NXT announced team. Just a plethora. Even also MVP. MVP got his release. He got released from WWE. Quincy Elliott as well, who is NXT's prima donna. He got his release as well. Rick Boogs, Ricochet, Riddick Moss, going down the line. Ronda Rousey, just a plethora, and just so many of them, so much talent, scripts, Sasha Banks, Saray, who else? I mean, it's the list of who's who, it's crazy that all these guys got, all these guys and girls, had gotten their release, and and a lot of these guys were probably never going to be seen at all. So the idea, so again, going back with the idea of SmackDown going to 3 hours, big mistake, because they would have to expand their roster, and there just isn't enough space, I feel like, for a big roster. Because right now, as far as the rivalries go over on SmackDown, you got Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton and the Bloodline. You got Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, Street Profits and DIY and the Bloodline. You've got Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and of course Bayley and Naomi. You got Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair trying to figure out their next challengers for the women's tag team titles. You got quite a few rivalries on SmackDown that there isn't going to be any more, and there isn't going to be enough for more talent to show up, I guess. So I do believe it's a big mistake on WWE's part. I don't think it should go to 3 hours. I feel like once Raw does move over to Netflix, 100% Raw stays at 3 hours, SmackDown stays at 2. NXT, I feel maybe NXT could go to 3 hours. I feel like NXT 3 hours would be interesting, but we'll have to wait and see over time as the CW move progresses, I guess, if you will. But with that being said, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be down in the description as well. Excuse me. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.